الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام، تبارك ربنا وتعالى يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم، برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. الحمد لله. Inshallah, the Sabbath will take place. Brothers are requested.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. ويسابر الشيء. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. We are going through the book of Imam Al-Qurtubi rahimahullah, known as At-Tazkirah, the reminder في أحوال الموتى وأمور الآخرة, regarding the conditions of the dead and the events that will take place in the hereafter. Now, the stage we're at now is the believer has been placed inside the grave, and the angels have come for questioning. So the narrations mention when the angels come to question a believer, they're about to start the questioning, and the believer will look and he will seem as if the sun is about to set. So the believer, he will get up very quickly and he will say to the angels, leave the questions, I need to pray my asr. I need to pray my asr. The sun's going to set, I'm going to miss my asr salah. And the angels will say, sit down. There's no asr now. Your salah is, this is for someone who was particular about their salah in the world. Even when they go in the grave, the hadith mentions that they will look as if the sun is about to set and say, let me do my asr. I'm going to miss asr. So, whatever we do in this world, it's not for nothing. We will see the result of it. And Allah will give each and every action of ours a physical form. This is why the Prophet ﷺ has told us that the grave is either going to be a garden from the gardens of paradise, or it's going to be a pit from the pits of hell. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Today's discussion is going to be, again, very heavy, very deep. And, sometimes we need hope, we need motivation. But sometimes we need fear. We need to be shaken up a little bit. And Iman is between both these things. We can't just have one, we can't just have the other. We need both of them. So this is, in particular, when we need, when we need a bit of a push. And again, this is not to make us lose hope. This is so that we can carry on doing more, inshallah. We can work harder. Now, the Prophet ﷺ, on one occasion, the hadith mentions, مَرَّ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ عَلَىٰ قَبَرَيْنِ. The Prophet ﷺ passed by two graves. There were two graves. The Prophet ﷺ is with the Sahaba, he's passing by them. He said, إِنَّهُمَا لَيُعَذَّبَانِ وَمَا يُعَذَّبَانِ فِي كَبِيرٍ. Both the inhabitants of these graves are being punished. The Prophet ﷺ is telling the Sahaba, the people in these graves are being punished. وَمَا يُعَذَّبَانِ فِي كَبِيرٍ. They're not being punished due to something that was a really big thing that they did. It wasn't a big deal. What they're being punished about was very easy to handle. They didn't commit some big, massive guna or something, a big crime. No. They're being punished regarding something that's not a big deal. It's very easy to handle in the world. What is it? So the Prophet ﷺ is saying that they didn't murder anybody. They didn't commit zina. They didn't commit the things which we consider to be very great. What they did was something not so big. We don't consider it something so big. But because of that, they're being punished in the grave. It was very easy to stay away from these things. أَمَّا أَحَدُهُمَا. One of them, the Prophet ﷺ said, فَكَانَ يَمْشِي بِالنَّمِيمَةِ. One of them, they used to do a lot of gossip. Gossip. What does gossip mean? In Urdu we say, chugal khori. In Arabic it's called namima. In English we say gossip or tale-bearing. The actual meaning in Arabic is naqlul kalami ala sabil al-ifsad. نقل الكلام ala sabilil or ala wajhil ifsad, to take something from here and then relate it there. Why? With the intention of causing chaos, fasad, fitna. And this is very common now, and with social media it's even more common, especially within the families. We call somebody, have you heard? Oh, you didn't know. They didn't even tell you. Oh, okay, well, maybe I thought you knew. What have you done now? What have you done? This is namima. Someone's told you something from the family. They've told you, they've not told this person. You've brought it up with them. And you're acting as if, but we do this kind of stuff all the time. This is a namima, this is gossip, this is talebearing, because now this person will think, why did they tell you and not me? Why did they tell you? Now they will ring that person and say, oh, now before they ring you, I ring them and say, oh, that guy, no, he was saying that he feels really bad that you didn't tell him. Why did you not tell him? How come you just, oh, you're taking something from here over there, something from there over here. This is an-namima. So this person, the Prophet ﷺ says, this person is being punished in the grave. Why? Because they would engage in namima. Now you tell me, we don't look at it as a big thing, do we? It's something small. It's not a big thing. Number one. Number two, the ulama say it's very easy to handle. It's very easy to avoid. It's not something, you don't have to do it. It's easy to avoid. And the second person, وَأَمَّا الْآخَرُ, and the second person, فَكَانَ لَا يَسْتَنْزِهُ مِنْ بَوْلِهِ. The second person, he wasn't particular about the drops and the splashes of urine. When they would go to answer the call of nature, he wasn't special, he wasn't particular about it. He didn't really care about cleanliness. Drops, splashes going on the clothes or going on the body wasn't particular. Now again, it's not a big deal. We don't think of this as a big deal. We don't think of it as a big sin. And it's very easy to handle. It's not something hard. You just have to take a little bit of time, a little bit of care. You don't have to exert so much. Now, there's two extremes here. One is the extreme, and we come across this a lot because we engage with a lot of young children as well. And it's sad, but I'm going to say it here because it's the truth. And that is that, sadly, a lot of Muslim parents do not educate their children in regards to going to the toilet. And it's a sad truth and a sad reality. This is the responsibility of parents, that you should be explaining the importance of cleanliness to your children, teaching them how to use the toilet, how to wash themselves, how to be particular when it comes to the drops of urine, etc. Because we see in the madrasa, we see in the masjid, when the children come, you can tell. A lot of our Muslim children, at home even, they tell us, the children don't lie. They say even at home we use the toilet standing up. The parents, of course the parents know. If we at madrasa know, because if you go into the toilet after a child, and you can see the splashes everywhere, the parents will of course know about it as well. Of course the parents know. But it's carelessness, just not being concerned about other matters. This is a very serious thing. This is a responsibility of the parents. And the parents will be questioned about this on the day of Qiyamah. Very serious. So one extreme is not being particular at all. And just, the way we see here in this country and in the Western lands, we see they're not particular at all. In one hand there's a burger, and they're also urinating at the same time, and then no washing of the hands, zip up and go. And our children, it's sad, it sounds funny, but our children are doing exactly the same thing, not any different. This is the culture we're living in. And I'm not just talking, these are children that are coming from supposedly religious and good families as well. But the upbringing isn't there, and the tarbiyah isn't there. The parents are too busy doing their own thing. This is something you have to stay on top of, not just young kids. Even elder, once they get older as well. If we don't know, we have to make sure we're having these conversations with our children, even when they get older, because that's when it becomes much more serious as well. So, this person is being punished. Why? Because they were particular. Now, there's another extreme as well. And we end up dealing with a lot of these cases as well. And this is a type of religious OCD, where some people, they are over particular about this. And that's not good as well. That ends you up in a vicious cycle, that constantly you're always thinking, oh no, there's urine somewhere, there's a drop here, there's a drop there, maybe there's still some more drops left. And when a person, whatever you look for, you will find. Whatever you look for, you will find. If you sit in the toilet for half an hour, drops will keep coming for half an hour. If you stay in there for 1 hour, they'll keep coming for 1 hour. If you think if something's come out, something will come out. That's how it is. What you look for, you will find. The cure for this kind of, and this is a vicious cycle. If you fall into this waham, waswasa, then there's no coming out of it. It's a very dangerous trap. You could be in this and it just eats you up and your life will become very stressful. So the thing is, if you're going to the toilet, for example, and you keep getting doubts, am I clean, am I not? You've gone for a number one. Now, if you've gone for a number one, you can clean yourself literally with a few drops of water is more than enough. Because the urine doesn't splash everywhere onto your body anyway. Now, if somebody is spending the time in there and using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lotas of water, and still they think they're not clean, this is shaitan and waswasa. And then when they come to wudu, the same thing will happen. If you give into it, the compulsion, if you keep going into it, this is OCD. This is a religious OCD. Just like you have this compulsive disorder, this is religious OCD in religious matters. And the more you do it, the more you will grow. It won't get better. So the ilaj for this cure is, if somebody has this type of obsession, thinking, I'm not clean, I'm not clean, I'm not clean, for you should only use no more than 1 lota. When you make wudu, for you the sunnah will be to wash your arm 1 time, not 3 times. Because normally this person is washing the arm 10 times, 15 times, 20 times, and still they think it's not clean. The only thing that's going to cure you is washing it 1 time. That's it. Even if the thoughts keep coming, oh, something's come out, something's come out. No, make 1 fresh wudu for every salah, pray your salah is done. Don't think, what if something came out? No, what if Allah has accepted your salah? This is how you think. What if your salah is done and you're just stressing for no reason? And you're spoiling your life, you're spoiling your family's life, you're messing up your workplace, it impacts everywhere. I know people who are suffering with this, and they, even on the day of Eid. Now on Jummah, some people, they come for Jummah, and they think, oh, the drops come out. Islam isn't that difficult. Allah has not made Islam difficult. Okay? If there is a serious issue, you can go to the doctor. But with waswasa and religious OCD, or any type of OCD, the more you go into it, the more you seek assurance, the worse it will become. Are you sure it's okay? You get a message. Is it okay if I do this? Now, if I say yes, that's just going to add to the OCD. That's how OCD works. It just gets worse and worse and worse. And I'm dealing with numerous people who are going through this. And I can tell you, some people have been like this for years, because they don't want to listen to the advice that's being given to them. So, don't fall into this trap. At the time of wudu, there is a shaitan called Walahan. His job is just to create doubts. And when the doubts, if you've never had doubts before, and it's the first time you're getting a doubt in your wudu, in your salah, that's okay. Okay, you can wash it again. You pray again your salah. Fine, if you get doubts, first time. But if it's happening to you all the time, don't listen to the doubts. Do not give in to any type of doubts. It's a very, very, very dangerous path to go in. Once you go in there, it's very hard to go out. Don't think I'm just getting assurance. That is the worst part. Seeking reassurance is the worst part in OCD. And family members and friends normally think they're doing something good when somebody asks you, oh, is my wudu okay? Is this pure? Is this bad? I've not committed kufr, have I? And everyone's going to say to them, yeah, of course it's okay, of course. But that's the problem. When you give them that assurance, that just makes it even worse. They should be able to trust themselves. You should be able to trust yourself. Not have to rely on asking so many times the same thing again and again and again and again. Because each time you do that, your OCD gets worse, not better. So, Anyhow, so there's two extremes. So the Prophet ﷺ says one of them is being punished because of gossiping, the other one wasn't particular with the drops of urine. The Prophet ﷺ فَدَعَا بِعَسِيبِ رَطْبٍ فَشَقَّهُ بِإِثْنَيْنِ ثُمَّ غَرَسَ عَلَى هَذَا وَاحِدًا وَعَلَى هَذَا وَاحِدًا. He said, get a branch, a fresh branch. He called for a fresh branch, he snapped it in two, and he put one branch on one cover, one branch on the other cover. And this is where people get evidence to put flowers on the grave. Whereas the Prophet ﷺ didn't put flowers on the grave. He took a branch, which was still fresh, and he put it one branch there, and he said that, what did he say? He made a dua, and he said that لَعَلَّهُ يُخَفِّفَ عَنْهُمَا مَا لَمْ يَيْبَسَا. Because this branch is still fresh, until it dries out, you know, all of the living things, they make the dhikr of Allah. So as long as this is still fresh and it doesn't dry out, it's going to be making dhikr. I'm hoping maybe it will make dhikr and it will lighten the punishment for these two people. That doesn't mean we can go and put loads of flowers and wreaths afterwards. When somebody passes away, normally we put a branch with some leaves on at that time. That's okay. The Prophet ﷺ did that on this one occasion, not all the time. Many people were buried. He didn't do that all the time. This is one occasion we find where that's fine. But then that doesn't mean that we go and place flowers and whatnot. And people who do it, leave them. They're doing it. They're also using the same hadith as well. They're going and putting extra, hoping that they will make dhikr and the person will benefit. But we know that that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You want to benefit the people who are deceased, you can read Quran for them. You can make sadaqah for them. This was a one-off incident that the Prophet ﷺ explained. Now, we are going to go into what happens in the qabr. One is for a good person, and we've spoken about that. But we're going to speak specifically about adhab al-qabr today. It's going to be a heavy session, and it's important for us to have this in front of us. The Prophet ﷺ gave a lot of graphic detail. The details are very, very graphic, and it's intentional. He wants us to visualize this, to picture this, to imagine this, so that we can be prepared and we don't fall into the things that would lead a person into this. So the details are very, very graphic. This is in Bukhari. كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا صلى صلاة أقبل علينا بوجهه. Sahaba say when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would finish performing the salah, he would turn around and he would face to us. This is speaking about Fajr salah in particular. فقال من رأى منكم الليلة الرؤيا. Last night, who saw a dream? He would ask the Sahaba every Fajr. After Fajr, he would face the people. Who saw a dream last night? Anybody? You saw a dream? Did you see any dreams? Okay, so he would ask anybody, فَإِنْ رَأَى أَحَدٌ رُؤْيَا قَصَّهَا. If anybody had seen a dream, they would say the dream. And the Prophet ﷺ said, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. He saw a dream, MashaAllah. And sometimes he would give the meaning. فَسَأَلْنَا يَوْمًا. So one day he turned around after Fajr, he said, who's seen a dream today? Last night? فَقَالَ هَلْ رَأَى أَحَدٌ مِّنْكُمْ رُؤْيَا قُلْنَا لَا. Everybody said, no. This is one of the nights. Nobody had seen a dream. No one seen a dream? So the Prophet ﷺ said, لَكِنِّي رَأَيْتُ. But I've seen a dream. The Prophet ﷺ, let me tell you my dream today. You're always telling me your dreams. Today I will tell you my dream. And remember, the dream of a Nabi is wahi. Ibrahim alayhi salam saw a dream about him sacrificing his son. So the dream of a Nabi is wahi. So he says, last night I saw a dream. رَأَيْتُ اللَّيْلَةَ رَجُلَيْنِ أَتَيَانِي فَأَخَذَا بِيَدِي. Two men, they came to me in my dream. And they grabbed me by the hand and they took me. They said, Chalo, let's go. So they took me. So I went. فَأَخْرَجَانِي إِلَى الْأَرْضِ الْمُقَدَّسَةِ. I am sleeping in Medina. They took me to Baytul Maqdis, to Jerusalem. This is where they took me in the dream. They took me to Baytul Maqdis, to Jerusalem. فَإِذَا رَجُلٌ جَالِسٌ وَرَجُلٌ قَائِمٌ. I saw in my dream, when I got there, I saw that there was رَجُلٌ جَالِسٌ. There was one man, he was sitting down. وَرَجُلٌ قَائِمٌ بِيَدِهِ كَلُوبٌ مِنْ حَدِيدٍ. And there was a man standing by his head. In his hand he had a hook, an iron hook. So one man sitting down, and another man has got an iron hook in his hand. يُدْخِلُهُ فِي شِدْقِهِ حَتَّى يَبْلُغَ قَفَاهُ. The man who has the hook, the iron hook in his hand, he's pulling it into the mouth of the man sitting down, and he's pulling it all the way to the back of his head. He's going like this, just ripping the hook into his mouth, all the way to the back. ثُمَّ يَفْعَلُ بِشِدْقِهِ الْآخَرِ مِثْلَ ذَلِكَ. Then he goes on to the other side and he does it on the other side of the mouth. Puts the hook into his mouth and he pulls it all the way to the back of his head. فَيَعُودُ فَيَصْنَعُ مِثْلَهُ. And then by the time he goes to that side, this side is already fixed. So then he comes back again and he does it again, pulls it. And he rips his whole mouth all the way to the back of his head. He goes to the other side, he does it there. By the time he gets there, this one is restored. And he keeps doing it. He keeps doing it. قُلْتُ مَا هَذَا. The Prophet ﷺ said, I said to the two men, what's this? قَالَ انطلق. They said to me, carry on walking. فانطلقنا, we carried on walking حتى أتينا على رجل مضطجع على قفاه. So we carried on walking until we came across a man who was lying flat on his back. There was a man lying down flat on his back. ورجل قائم على رأسه بفهر أو صخرة فيشلخ بها رأسه. So there was a man who was standing on his head and he had this huge rock in his hand. فإذا ضربه تدهده الحجر فانطلق ليأخذ فما يرجع إلى هذا حتى يلتئم رأسه وعاد رأسه كما هو فعاد إليه فضربه. So the man with the rock, he would grab the rock and he would smash his head. And the head would go rolling. And by the time the man picked up the rock, the head would come back and he would do it again. He would smash his head really hard. And the head would go rolling. And the head comes back, he would smash it again. And he kept doing it, kept smashing his head. And قُلْتُ مَا هَذَا. I said, what's this? And the angel said to me, the two men said to me, انطلق, let's go. فَانْطَلَقْنَا إِلَى ثَقْبٍ. We carried on going until we came to a huge, massive hole. It was like a pit, a hole. مثل التنور, like an oven. أعلاه ضيق وأسفله واسع. The top part of it was very narrow, but the bottom part was very hollow, very wide, like a cone. So this hole on the top is very narrow and it goes like this. Massive hole, like a cone. يتوقد تحته نارا. At the bottom there was fire. The fire was burning. فإذا اقترب ارتفعوا حتى كادوا أن يخرجوا. فإذا خمدت رجعوا فيها. So what would happen is this fire, it would burn. And when the fire would burn, the people inside, they would go all the way up. And then the fire would go off and they'd fall down again. Fire would burn, they would go up. When I looked inside, فيها رجال ونساء عراة. When I looked inside, it was full of naked men and naked women. Inside, this is hadith of Bukhari. Naked men, naked women inside. Fire burns and they go up to the top. Fire goes off, they would fall down again. And this kept happening. فَقُلْتُ مَا هَذَا. I said, what's this? قَالَ انطلق. They said to me, the two men said to me, carry on. فَانْطَلَقْنَا حَتَّى أَتَيْنَا عَلَى نَهْرٍ مِّن دَمٍ. We carried on until we came to a river. But this river was a river of blood. فيه رجل قائم على شط النهر. On the side of the river bank, there was a man who was standing there. بين يديه, and there was a man, رجل بين يديه حجاب. He had lots of stones next to him. فأقبل الرجل الذي في النهر. So there was a man who was actually inside the river. And he was trying to swim to come out. He was coming close to the man, trying to swim out and trying to rescue himself. He tries to swim right to the edge to come out of the river. فأقبل الرجل الذي في النار فإذا أراد أن يخرج رمى الرجل بحجر في فيه فرده حيث كان. When he would try to come out, the man standing on the side would grab a stone, would throw it onto his face, so he would push him all the way back to where he started. So then this man tries to swim again to come out, and he would grab the stone and throw it onto his face again. فجعل كلما جاء ليخرج رمى في فيه بحجر فيرجع كما كان. He'd go, فقلت ما هذا. I said, what's this? And the two men said to me, انطلق, carry on. فانطلقنا, we carried on حتى انتهينا إلى روضة خضراء. We carried on until we came to a green garden. It was so beautiful, so beautiful. We came to this very beautiful garden, very green. فيها شجرة عظيمة. There was a massive tree in there. وفي أصلها شيخ وصبيان. At the trunk of this tree there was an old man, and around him there were lots of children. وَإِذَا رَجُلٌ قَرِيبٌ مِّنَ الشَّجَرَةِ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ نَارٌ يُوقِدُهَا. And away from the tree there was another man, and he was igniting a fire. He was igniting a fire. فَصَعَدَا بِيَ الشَّجَرَةِ. So they both told me, let's climb the tree. So they took me up the tree. وَأَدْخَلَانِي دَارًا لَمْ أَرَ قَطُّ أَحْسَنَ مِنْهُ. When we went up above, ascended the tree, they entered me into a house. I have never seen a house so beautiful. Such a beautiful house it was. فِيهَا شُيُوخٌ وَشَبَابٌ وَنِسَاءٌ وَصِبْيَانٌ. There were old people, young people, there were men, there were women, there were children in there. ثُمَّ أَخْرَجَانِي. Then we came out of this house. فَصَعَدَا بِيَ الشَّجَرَةِ فَأَدْخَلَانِ دَارًا هِيَ أَحْسَنُ وَأَفْضَلُ. They took me up to another house which was more beautiful than the first house. فِيهَا شُيُوخٌ وَشَبَابٌ. In the second house there were old people and there were young people. قُلْتُ تَوَفْقَمَانِيَ اللَّيْلَ فَأَخْبَرَانِي عَمَّا رَأَيْتُ. Look, you've taken me all over the place, so many places. Can you please tell me what we've seen? What was all this that we saw last night? What have we seen? قَالَ نَعَمْ. They both said yes, both the men said yes. الَّذِي رَأَيْتَ يَشِقُّ شَدْقَهُ. The person that you saw, that his jaw was being ripped open with a hook. فَكَذَّابٌ. This was a liar. A person who was a liar. يحدث بالكذب فتحمل منه حتى تبلغ الآفاق. So he would lie. When he would say a word of lie, his lies would reach the horizon. Imagine the Sahaba hearing this. They would think, how could that be possible? When you say one lie here and the lie reaches the horizon. Is that possible now? One tweet. Yeah? One tweet. You press send and it reaches the horizon. This is the Prophet ﷺ said this back then. That this is the type of lying he would do. He would lie and it would reach أَبْلُغُ الْآفَاقِ فَيَسْمَعُ بِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. This punishment will keep happening until Yawm al-Qiyamah. The ulama said this line tells us where is this happening? In the qabr. The ulama said from this line we understand Qiyamah hasn't happened yet. This is happening in the qabr. Why are we talking about this? Why is this so descriptive? It's so graphic. Why are we talking about this? Why did the Prophet ﷺ give us such detail? You know why? When you hear it, you tell yourself, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like him. If you don't want to be like him, then we need to ensure that we abstain from the characteristics that these people possess. وَالَّذِي رَأَيْتَهُ يَشْلَخُ رَأْسَهُ. The man that you saw that his head was being smashed with the rock, فَرَجُلٌ عَلَّمَهُ اللَّهُ الْقُرْآنِ. This is the person Allah taught him the Quran. فَنَامَ عَنْهُ بِاللَّيْلِ. At night he wouldn't recite the Quran. He didn't do qiyam, he didn't do tahajjud, he didn't practice the Quran. وَلَمْ يَعْمَلْ فِيهِ بِالنَّهَارِ. And during the daytime he didn't practice the Quran. يُفْعَلُ بِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. This will continue happening until the day of Qiyamah. May Allah protect us. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ رَأَيْتَهُمْ فِي الثُّقْبِ. The people that you saw in that hole, فَهُمْ الزُّنَاتِ. They are the people of zina. They are the people of zina. When we do things in this world, every action we do in the world, immediately it is a replica of the action is created in the akhirah. A good action, Allah creates a replica of it in the hereafter. A bad action, Allah creates a replica of it in the hereafter. May Allah protect us. So these people were people who would go around, they would commit zina in the world. So in the hereafter, this is what will happen. They will all be filled. This is just in the qabr, not even the akhirah yet. In the qabr, in the barzakh. وَالَّذِي رَأَيْتَهُ فِي النَّهْرِ. The person you saw swimming in the blood, the river of blood, and the man throwing stones at him. Who is it? آكِلُ الرِّبَى. The one who dealt with interest, usury, sood. And this is a sin of interest. Allah declares war against the person who deals with interest money. وَالشَّيْخُ فِي أَصْلِ الشَّجَرَةِ. The old man you saw at the bottom of that huge tree, Ibrahim alayhi salam. That was Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَالصِّبْيَانُ حَوْلَهُ فَأُولَادُ النَّاسِ. And the children around him, those are all the children who pass away in young age. If you had a miscarriage, for example, you had a stillbirth, for example, you lost a child, okay, when they were 1, when they were 2, when they were 3, when they were 5, when they were 7, anybody who's lost a child before they reach the age of maturity, before they reach the age of 15, 16, you lost a child, well, this is consolement for you, that your child is safe with Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. In Jannah, rejoicing, they're playing tig and tag with Ibrahim alayhi salam and all the other children that are there in Jannah, and they're waiting for you, inshallah, at the doors of Jannah. وَالَّذِي يُوقَدُ النَّارِ. The person who was igniting the fire by the tree, it is Malik Khazin al-Nar. This was Malik, the gatekeeper of Jahannam. وَالدَّارُ الْأُولَى. The first house, دَارُ عَامَّةُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. This is the waiting area of the normal believers. So the normal believers who are good, who are pious believers, they, when they pass away, whilst they are waiting till Qiyamah, who knows when Qiyamah will come, that's where they're going to be waiting, in that Jannah. And وَأَمَّا هَذِهِ الدَّارِ. This second house, the second one he saw, which was even better, فَدَارُ الشُّهَدَاءِ. This is the house of the martyrs. Those people who are killed in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will be given this extra special treatment. And then the first one says, وَأَنَا جِبْرِيلٌ. I am Jibreel alayhi salam. وَهَذَا مِيكَائِيل. This is Mikael, this is Michael. I am Gabriel, this is Michael. Jibreel, Mikael. English we say Gabriel, Michael. That's where the names come from. Sometimes we hear some of these names and they say, oh, this is like a Gora name. It's not a Gora name. This is Jibreel, is Gabriel, Mikael is Michael. This is the same thing. There's no difference there. Some of you are finding that hard to digest. Let it settle. Then he was told, Farfa ra'sak, raise your head. Raise your head. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam raises, Farafa'tu ra'si, he says, I raise my head. فَإِذَا فَوْقِ مِثْلُ السَّحَابِ. When I looked up, it looks like a cloud. He didn't say it's a cloud. He said it looked like a cloud. Qala, the angels, Jibreel, Gabriel and Michael, I'm going to use them now. They said, what, you know what you can see there? ذَلِكَ مَنْزِلُكَ. O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that's your house. That's your house in Jannah. فَقُلْتُ, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam telling the Sahaba, I said to Jibreel and Mikael, بَارَكَ اللَّهُ لَكُمَا. Wa alaykum salam. Let me go. Thank you for the tour. Thank you for all the description. See you later. I'm going. دَعَانِي أَدْخِلُ مَنْزِلِ. Let me go and enter my house. See you guys later. قَالَ إِنَّهُ بَقِيَ لَكُمْ. No. You've still got some more time to live. You can't go there now. You can't go there now. You have to go back to the world. لَمْ تَسْتَكْمِلْهُ فَلَوْ اسْتَكْمَلْتَهُ أَتَيْتَ مَنْزِلَتَكَ. When you finish your life, then you're going to come here. You still have to go back to the dunya. Your life still remains. So we understand a few things from this narration. The first of all, the main thing we understand is Adhabul Qabr is not just for the disbelievers. These weren't disbelievers. These are Muslims. These people that are being spoken about, they are Muslim people. They were particular about certain things. Thus they're having to undergo Adhabul Qabr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. And there's another narration that mentions إِذَا وُضِعَ الْعَبْدُ الصَّالِحِ فِي قَبْرِهِ. When a pious person is laid in the grave, احتوشته أعماله الصالحة. Your good deeds come and surround you. When a pious person, a good person is laid into the grave, everybody's gone away, your good deeds, the things that you did in this world, they will come and surround you. فَتُجِيءُ مَلَائِكَةُ الْعَذَابِ مِنْ قِبَلِ رِجْلَيْهِ. The punishment, the angels of punishment, they will come from your feet first. They will come to punish you. You know, we've spoken about all of these punishments. So the punishment, the angels of punishment will come from the feet side. فَتَقُولُ الصَّلَاةِ إِلَيْكُمْ عَنِّي. Your salat will stand by your feet. And they push the angels, get away from here. Get away. You can't come from here. He stood in Tarawih. You know that standing that you do? It's not for nothing. وَكَانَ سَعْيُكُمْ مَشْكُورًا. Quran says, every single effort of yours will be highly appreciated by Allah. Nothing you do for Allah is ever wasted. We can do things for people in this world and people might not turn around and say thank you to you. That's people. You're dealing with a very appreciative Allah. وَكَانَ سَعْيُكُمْ مَشْكُورًا, Quran says. Every single thing you do is highly appreciated. Never worship grudgingly. When we're standing in Taraweeh, towards the end it gets a little bit difficult. Your legs get tired. You look around and think, shall we sit down, miss these 2 rakat, go for a sip of water, go for some water again, go for some water again, wait till the Imam goes in ruku. But if we keep this in mind, thinking, do you know what? Because remember what we said, we want to develop good deeds are your companions, are your only companions. In the grave, all your friends will go, all your family will go, all your possessions will go. Your friends, let's change our relationship with deeds. Look at good deeds as your homies, as your buddies, as your best mates, because that's what they're going to be. They're going to be either your worst enemies or they're going to be your best friends when you need them the most. So Allah's going to make it into a person. It's going to become a handsome person. Well, it depends how good our salah is. So salah will be in the form, Allah will make it into a friend, a nice person. And the stronger our salah is, the stronger this person will be. When the angels will come, they're going to push the angels, get away from here. Ilayka anni. Get lost from here. You can't come from here. What did he say? Because he stood in salah. That's why by your feet will be, salah will be by the feet, because your feet, that's where it hurts the most in salah. Rest of the body's fine, we go up, we go down. But the feet start to hurt, don't they? Right? Especially in the Taraweeh. Right? So, the feet, when you're standing today, remember this, that you're doing it for that. That's what you're doing it. To get that strength, to get that energy. So then the angels will go round to the head. Let's start punishing from there. فَيَقُولُ الصِّيَامُ لَا سَبِيلَ لَكُمْ عَلَيْهِ. Your fasting will speak. You know, when you fast, you stay hungry. You stay thirsty. Rest of the body's fine. What happens when you stay hungry and you're thirsty? What's the worst that could happen to you? Headaches. Yeah? You get a headache. Have you had a headache yet this Ramadan? Yeah? Some of us have. Maybe, maybe not. They're not as long, but maybe at certain times of the day. So that headache, yeah? Fall in love with it. We don't ask for it, but when it comes, feel the sweetness, the halawatul iman. This is ladhatul ibadah. That sweetness in worshipping Allah, because it's a greater purpose. It's not just a ritual. There's so much more to it. That headache's going to be your companion in the grave. When you're going to be all alone, that headache's going to come there. Right? Because you did it for Allah, not for anybody else. And Allah is going to give that sawman, this fasting, a form. And He's going to say, La sabila lakum alayh. There's no way you can come from here. It's blocked. Get lost from here. Go somewhere else. So then, فَقَدْ أَطَالَ دَمْأَهُ لِلَّهِ فِي الدَّارِ الدُّنْيَا. Stayed hungry, stayed thirsty for the sake of Allah for many, many hours. You can't come from here. So protected. فَيَأْتُونَ مِنْ قِبَلِ جِسْمِهِ. Then he will try and come, the adhab will come from the body. فَيَقُولُ الْحَجُّ وَالْجِهَادِ. When a person goes for Hajj, you have to strive. You have to work hard. Sometimes you're walking from Mina to Makkah, between Muzdalifah and Arafah, and it's difficult. This struggle. You think Allah's just going to make you do these things and not pay you back for it? Never. Never. Allah never oppresses anyone. Even the smallest thing you do, Allah will pay you back for it. Allah will pay you back for everything you did for His cause. So then, the ilaykum anha, Hajj, your Hajj will speak, your jihad, your striving for Allah will speak. فَقَدْ أَنْصَبَ نَفْسَهُ وَأَتْعَبَ بَدَنَهُ وَحَجَّ وَجَاهَدَ لِلَّهِ لَا سَبِيلَ لَكُمْ عَلَيْهِ فَيَأْتُونَ مِنْ قِبَلِ يَدَيْهِ. Now there's only the hands left. The feet have been covered, the head side is covered, the body is covered, the hands are left now, on the side. So the adhab will try, and the angel will try and punish this person from the hands. So what will happen now? Who will speak? What's going to protect you on that day? فَتَقُولُ الصَّدَقَةِ. Your sadaqah. When you spend in the path of Allah, and this is the month of spending in charity, كُفُّوا عَنْ صَاحِبِي. Get away from here, leave him alone. He's my friend, my companion. He's my bestie, my homie. You can't touch him. I'm going to look after him. Get away from here. فَكَمْ مِنْ صَدَقَةٍ خَرَجَتْ مِنْ هَاتَيْنِ الْيَدَيْنِ. How much sadaqah was spent with these hands? how much sadaqah, whether you're just swiping the card, or you're just pressing the send button, or you're physically giving money with your hands. This, every time you do it, you're strengthening that figure that's going to be in your grave, protecting you. Each time you're giving more and more strength to it. It's so our religion is so meaningful. There's so much behind it. It's not just a ritual. These are not just mere actions that we do, but everybody else is doing. No. Let's learn to live with a purpose, a greater purpose.
حتى وقعت في يد الله ابتغاء لوجهه فلا سبيل لكم عليه قال فيقال له نم هنيئا طبت حيا وطبت ميتا.
The angels will then say, rest in peace. You go to sleep. You had a beautiful life, and you're beautiful even after you're dead as well.
This is if a person is pious, if a person carries out these deeds.
And this is what we learn from these ahadith. What we learn is, what do we need? Good deeds. And Ramadan is a time for deeds. So this is the time to try and get into the habit of building this courage to do deeds. I know we find it hard. It's burdensome. Sometimes we find it taxing. Sometimes we get lazy. But if we look at it from this angle and look, these are your friends. Make a friendship with Salah. Treat Salah as your best friend. Treat the Quran as your best friend. Treat dhikr as your friend. Treat sadaqah as your friend. Dua is your friend. Striving for Allah is your friend. Abstaining from haram is a friend. Because really, these will be the only friends that we will have when we go in the qabr, where we will need it the most. No one else is going to be with us. So the stronger and the better friendship we have with these deeds, and you know what, your life will be very different. If we view good deeds and actions as friends, you'll just be a different person. We will do it with a different spirit altogether.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a tawfiq. From here, Imam al-Qurtubi rahmatullah alayhi goes on to mention 5 different things that will protect a person, or 5 types of people that will not be punished in the grave. We don't have time, inshallah, on Wednesday, not tomorrow. Wednesday, inshallah, we'll continue from here. We'll speak about the 5 types of people, or 5 things that will protect you from the adab al-qabr, meaning these types of people will not be punished in the grave. We'll do some dhikr and dua, inshallah.
Recite the Sharif, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallam.
If it helps you to focus better, you can close your eyes if that helps you to concentrate and not get distracted.
La ilaha illallah, 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 la ilaha illallah. لا إله إلا الله 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 سبحان الله
والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله 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 العظيم أستغفر الله 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 الله والله 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 لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا ذا الجلال والإكرام لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين وإلهكم إله واحد لا إله إلا هو الرحمن الرحيم يا حي يا قيوم يا حي يا قيوم يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك، إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت، تباركت ربنا وتعاليت. نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك، وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات، وألف بين قلوبهم، وأصلح ذات بينهم، وانصرهم على عدوك وعدوهم. اللهم انصرنا ولا تنصر علينا، ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك فينا ولا يرحمنا. اللهم ارحمنا يا الله. اللهم انصر من نصر الدين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين المظلومين في كل مكان. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في فلسطين وفي سوريا وفي يمن وفي كل مكان. اللهم انصرهم نصرا عزيزا، وآتهم فتحا قريبا. اللهم من أراد بنا وبالإسلام والمسلمين خيرا فوفقه لكل خير وأعل به كلمتك، ومن أراد بنا وبالإسلام والمسلمين شرا فاجعل تدميرهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم خالف بين كلمتهم، اللهم خالف بين كلمتهم، اللهم خالف بين كلمتهم، اللهم وزلزل أقدامهم، وأنزل بهم بأسك الذي لا ترده عن القوم المجرمين. اللهم أهلكهم كما أهلكت عادا وثمود. اللهم أرنا فيهم عجائب قدرتك يا رب العالمين، يا قوي يا عزيز، يا قوي يا عزيز، برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم احفظنا بالإسلام قائمين، واحفظنا بالإسلام راقدين، واحفظنا بالإسلام راقدين، واحفظنا بالإسلام قاعدين، ولا تشمت بنا عدوا ولا حاسدا يا رب العالمين. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا، وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان، واجعلنا من الراشدين. يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك، ويا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا إلى طاعتك. اللهم بارك لنا في الموت وفيما بعد الموت. اللهم أعنا على غمرات الموت وسكرات الموت. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاءك والجنة وما قرب إليهما من قول وعمل، ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار، ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار وما قرب إليهما من قول وعمل. اللهم أجرنا من النار. اللهم أعتق رقابنا من النار. اللهم أعتق رقابنا ورقاب آبائنا وأمهاتنا من النار. اللهم أعتق رقابنا من النار. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا. اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام، ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان. ربنا تقبل منا صيامنا، ربنا تقبل منا صيامنا، ربنا تقبل منا قيامنا، ربنا تقبل منا ركوعنا وسجودنا، ربنا تقبل منا تلاوة القرآن، ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها، أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا، رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا، رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد. أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله الله أكبر استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام تباركت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام اللهم لا مانع لما أعطيت ولا معطي لما منعت ولا ينفع ذا الجد منك الجد اللهم أعني على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين